Hello everyone, and now we come to the last lesson of Unit 3, Lesson 5, and this is talking about a very enjoyable story, The Lost City. And by the way, this is a real picture of what's called the Lost City in China. Kindly prepare your learner's book on pages 44 to 47 and your activity books from page 36 to 39. What are we going to learn today? We are going to listen to a story, speak about looking after the environment. We are going to read a story and answer some questions. We are going to have a critical thinking for giving opinions, and we are going to take some values. Yeah, I care for looking after the environment, and we are going to take some vocabulary. First, I want you to speak your mind, even if your voice shakes. So this is a speaking. You need to speak, pause the video and try to speak for yourself, speak to someone of your family, or you can record yourself. Do you like stories about journeys? This time I'm talking about you. Speak yourself, all right? Do you like stories about journeys? Have you read any? Can you tell me some names of stories? I'm gonna help you with one. So now pause the video and speak about that. Back. We are still with the speaking. Have you been on a journey? Tell your partner, maybe on phone or over the internet, or one of your family, where you went, how you got there, and what you did. I'm going to give you a piece of advice. Look here. Why, where, what, why, how? When you want to speak about something, especially a journey, you need to ask yourself some questions. Where? You give, for example, where you go? How did you go there? When did you go there? Okay, and who did you go with? So you need to ask questions. Asking questions are going to give you some ideas. So please pause the video, ask yourself some questions about that journey, and come back to me. Thank you. Look at the pictures of a journey. Who are the travelers? How do they get there? Why do you think they go on this journey? You may say that you already have the story. No, before you read the story, I want you to look at the pictures, all the pictures. I've collected all of them for you. Okay? Look at these pictures. Try to think, try to guess, just work on that. Who are the travelers? How do they get there? And so on. Now listen and read to check your answers to activity 2, the one you guessed. You are going to listen to the story. You should ignore any unknown vocabulary for the time being. So again, my advice to ignore any unknown vocabulary. Do not concentrate on all vocabulary. Okay, just concentrate on the general meaning of the story, and then check if your answers to the questions in activity 2 are correct.
The lost city. Yonghu and Hojin walked through the valley. I'm getting tired. Yonghu complained. Where are we going anyway? We are going to find the city. The lost city. There are wondrous surprises that await the ones who find the ancient city. Does anyone live there? Yonghu asked. Not anymore. At one time it was the busiest city in all of China. Why not? Because it is too far out of the way for the trade routes. What kind of surprises are there? Good surprises? Yonghu asked. Magical surprises. Hojin smiled. Come, is the bamboo in the lost city? Yonghu asked. Much. Good. Let's hurry up then. I'm starving. After several hours, Hojin stopped. See the mountains ahead? We are nearly there. Another hour. Just then they heard a growling sound. What was that? Yonghu asked. A tiger, but it isn't near us. Its roar is echoing off the tall mountains. There it is. There is the lost city. We have found it at last. Hojin smiled. It is magnificent, Hojin. The walls are high and the roofs of the buildings sparkle in the sunshine. Are they made of jade? Yonghu asked. There is much jade, ivory, gold, silver, and even rubies. We must hurry, He Xing said. How do we get inside? Yonghu wondered. We must climb these steps, He Xing said, pointing to very steep steps that led to the top of the wall. Yonghu laughed and ran up the stairs. After he'd climbed 20 of them, he stopped and took a few breaths. I think I'll walk slowly up the rest of them. 3R, there is where we need to go, he said as he reached the top step over there in the middle of the city. That is where we shall find our surprises, He Xing said. They climbed down the steps on the other side of the wall. We need to treat this place with respect. Be quiet. Don't touch anything until I say so, he warned his friend. When they reached the center of town, a huge golden gong hung from poles. Several Chinese statues of lions surrounded it. Look at their ruby eyes. Yonghu said, Can I bang the gong? He asked. Yes, the wiser panda said. Yonghu picked up the stick and hit the gong. 4. When the noise stopped, silence filled the air. Crickets began to chirp. Listen, He Xing said. It is beautiful. When do we get the rubies and jade? Yonghu whispered. He Xing ignored him and listened to the magical music of the crickets. The two pandas stood silently for an hour until the crickets stopped singing. Our surprise? Yonghu whispered again. Yonghu, that was our surprise. Nobody in the world has heard anything that beautiful before. It is our reward for our journey, He Xing said. 5. What about the jade? What about the gold, silver, rubies, and ivory? Yonghu asked. We cannot touch these things. They belong to the people who once lived in this lost city. You can eat all the bamboo you want, but the rest must stay within these walls, He Xing explained. At the mention of bamboo, Yonghu forgot about all the precious jewels and riches. Bamboo. He ran off to search for his feast. Margot Follis.
Now we are going to read and concentrate on reading. Yes, you need to go back again and read the story. I know it's a very long story. You need to read it first. Take your time and then read the rest of the and answer these questions. Yes, number 1. The lost city is, yes, in a remote location, easy to find, or in trade route. Yes, the answer is in a remote location. It's far. The city is not, yeah, what is the answer? Yes, has many surprises. Let's go to number 3. Yonghu ran up all the steps, couldn't climb, or ran up 20 steps. Which one? Yes, ran up 20 steps and walked the rest. Number 4. Where do the pandas need to go to find surprises? They need to go down the steps or where? Yes, they used to go to the middle of the city. And 4, the last one, Yonghu's surprise was the bamboo, the magical music of the crickets, or the rubies and jade. Which one? Yes, B, the magical music and of the crickets. Let's continue reading. Go to page 36 of your activity book. Here you have 4 pictures and you have the other 4. There it is. There is the lost city. We have found it at last, He Xing said. You are going to write the number of the photo next to the paragraph. Number 1 is answered for you. For example, here it's picture C. And for the others, they are going to be for homework. We will continue reading to match the words in blue in the text with the definitions below. We are going to take this very slowly. The sound crickets and birds make, for example. What is that? We are going to go back to the text, concentrate on the blue words to match them. This is a very long text. You need to take many exercises to master it. For example, the question number 1 we said is a chirp. Now let's learn the words to check your answers. Valley, wondrous, ancient, bamboo, look at it, it's lovely, and starving. And this has got a story. This boy, a photographer was taking photo of him, and he had nothing to eat, and the photographer gave him 2 lollipops, and this boy, because he's really kind-hearted, he gave the photographer 1 to share him his food. It's a great. Row and precious. For precious here we have more than word. Gold, silver, jade, ivory, and rupees. Look at the difference between the 5 of them. And all of them are sparkling. This is what we mean by sparkling. Gong. And we are back to the same exercise now after we've seen the words. A tall leafy plant that pandas eat. What is that? Yes, it's bamboo. How about a red precious stone? It's ruby. The sound a line makes. Ra. A green precious stone? Yes, it's jade. How about a large circular instrument made of metal or gold? They are the gong. Now let's go to your activity book. Read and decide if these sentences are true or false. You are going to circle the true or false one. For the false one, you just can tell what's false there and you can change it. For example, here in 2, Honghu and Hosheng, you have to replace them to make it true. It's false. For the others, they are going to be for your homework. You need to go back and read again and again, okay? Complete each sentence with the correct word. Here you have these 5 words. You are going to fill in these 5 sentences. For 1, crickets and birds, they chirp. Well, I'm going to answer number 2 for you. A ruby is a precious red stone. You are going to continue answering the other 3 for homework. I have more questions for you for more practice. Answer these questions. Why does Hosheng want to find the lost city? I'm going to answer one for you. Yes, the answer is to find all the magical surprises. For the other 4 questions, you are going to answer them for homework. I want you to practice more. The more you practice, the more you learn. Find the past simple of these verbs in the text. Woke. What is the past of woke? Yes, walked. And by the way, you say the D as T. Heard. Found. Smile. Yes, you are going to add D because it ends with E. Forget. Forgot. Stand, stood. It's irregular. Run, ran. Climb. You don't say the B. Take, to. Arrive. Okay, last thing. And thank you for this. We are going to continue the next, inshallah.